Hey, Lee Wolf here. We are live on Tech Face On. As always, Mr. Richie Bella is sitting by my side. How you doing, Richie?
Good. How are you today?
Good, good. Ready to rock and roll. Before we get rolling on the show, which is going to be centered around digital marketing agencies today and the powerful tools that Shop Smart Autos can offer them, I'm just going to run a quick look at our VIN retention report.
Digital marketers, are you ready to give your clients an edge in the competitive auto market? Well, you can with the VIN retention report from Shop Smart Autos. This powerful tool doesn't just track the vehicles that dealerships sold or held onto, it shows where cars went, whether other dealerships, auctions, or private sales. And it does it fast because it does it with VINs. With this data, marketing agencies can create tailored campaigns that directly address these weaknesses. It's one thing to win new customers with great creative or lower prices per click, but it's a totally new ballgame when you can target each click and new customer with powerful data. As affordable as a radio spot, but far more effective. Help your clients win with the VIN retention report from Shop Smart Autos.
All right. So that was a helpful little piece because it's basically the premise behind the whole show today, which we always talk about the VIN retention report from the dealer perspective and why every dealership really should be running VIN retention reports and using this software to see not only the vehicles that they held on to and the vehicles that they lost, but where the vehicles ended up, which can send you down a path of understanding, do we have a need for training? Do we need to clean up our DMS and target the people that left in a different way to get them back instead of trying to sell them a new car when they just traded it in 2 weeks ago at, ABC Motors. So there's that perspective. But today we're talking more from the digital marketers perspective, advertising agencies that deal with dealerships really should be using this tool. And speaking from experience, over 20 years in marketing and advertising, especially back in the 90s and the early 2000s, the only thing that we heard from it, if we were going in to get a new client, a new dealership, the only thing that we could really offer them is that we can buy media cheaper, save them lots of money, do unbelievable creative, and basically talk to them a little bit about, maybe what their weaknesses were as compared to other dealerships in the area. But now with the VIN retention report, I can't imagine going in without it because you literally can have a complete perspective on the dealership you're walking into, show them where their VINs are going, show them who's taking their business, have a plan in place for how to target those people to get them back and go in and win yourself a client. I mean, it doesn't get better than that, right, Rich?
Yeah, well, there's a couple of things. So let's talk about ad agencies, right? So the OEMs have something that's called pump in and pump out, right? And that means that how many cars am I pumping in to your market and you're a dealership, right? And you're my competitor, okay? So that's a big thing, right? Then you got something called conquest sales. You got all kinds. This report identifies for you that. So as far as an auto group, right, you're able to zone in and you're able to run the VIN retention report on a group, right? We just did that not too long ago, maybe about 5 days ago. So you're able to run that VIN retention report on the group. So you're able to strategize, find out, because so let's say, let's take a group for an example, Long Island, pick anything, Long Island City group example, right? So they have 30 stores there, example, right? Those 30 stores, you're able to run with one report. Okay, now you're able to identify the group, how it's doing itself. So you want to see where your opportunity is as a marketer, right? You want to see, is the group picking up all the deals within the group, but the one store in the group is not doing good?
Right.
and the company has hired you for that one group, right? But for that one store, so you're able to strategize and come down with a strategy to the dealership, right? To help the dealership. And dealers also, hear me out, a lot of dealers today do their own marketing in-house. Strategize yourself, because in the strategy, that's what marketing is about. Marketing's all about the strategy. So now you can strategize that. The agencies are a big opportunity, because now you can strategize against a competitor. Now you're able to see what they're doing. The
Right.
dealership tells you as an agency, hey, you know what? My other stores are doing better, and this other thing is not doing better.
Right.
Okay, what I'm doing with you, with my other ad agency, is doing better. Sometimes they just say that to get a better deal from you, to put you, and that now you have the data. You can actually show them, oh, really, you're doing better?
Right.
How do you arrive at that?
Right.
You know,
right.
I got all this data here. You know what I mean? So it's a whole different perspective when you're able to dive in and look at the group as a whole as a marketing company,
Right.
and look at the individual at their competitors.
Right. Right.
Right. And what is it that now you have a bigger opportunity? You're able to see the performance.
Yeah.
You're not waiting for that dealer to bullshit you.
Right.
Like you go to a store Monday morning and they tell you, this thing, Lee, this thing, you're not doing the job, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. Well, really, then you take a dive at their competitor of their market analysis, and now you see a difference. Now
Right.
the dealer understands, well, wait a minute, there's a problem in the market. It ain't my advertising company.
Right. Yeah.
My other three competitors are selling less than me.
Right. Right.
Right. Because it ain't just about the new cars that are selling less. I mean, a new car store could be selling less and could be selling more used cars.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you don't know if you're outselling the competitor.
Right.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Okay? And without having that data, knowing you don't, because all the dealership's going to go by is what he did last year.
That's it.
That's all they go by. They go by like the market, what I did last year. They don't look at the competitive analysis. Boom,
Right.
we have it. And we have it on the VIN numbers, So we have the whole data. It's just not the report. We send you two links, the report and the data.
Right.
And the other thing is, the advertising companies, every advertising company does direct mail. There's still something with that. You clean up that data and use that data instead of going out to a company like IHS to buy registration data, to buy title data, and hope that it's going to work. You cleanse out your DMS, and now you have real data in market data.
Right.
Why wouldn't you want in market data?
Right. Right.
I had a DMS marketing company the other day ask me, well, what do I do with this data? Well, clean it out. That's what you do. You cleanse it. Oh, yeah, that's right. I mean, how can you not know that as a DMS marketing company?
Because it's an unbelievable thought process and an unbelievable piece of software that I don't think, especially agencies, I don't think they realize that it's out there.
Well, even a DMS marketing company, they're
Yeah,
supposed to be like really.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, you're competing with Automotive Mastermind, okay? So they're sharp. They're owned by IHS, okay? And how can you be a DMS marketing company and not know what you're going to do with that data when Automotive Mastermind has that data accessible to them through Polk? They're beating you hands down.
Yeah.
So this is what I don't get. What do you mean? What are you going to do with the data?
Right.
Get in market audience.
Right.
They have that data and they use the data. One thing about Automotive Mastermind, they use data to better enhance the results.
Right.
These DMS marketing companies, all they do is just send out a funnel and an SMS. The dealership can do that really in reality.
Right. Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know what I mean? There's no cleansing of data. There's no giving a report to the dealer. Yes, they give them the report, the click-throughs. Okay, that's it. But they don't give them a report. Listen, you've actually gotten better at increasing your retention with our product. In the last 90 days, you're up 2% from retention, and you weren't.
Right. Right.
Because that report's you're able to say that.
Yeah. Yeah. And to win back your VINs.
Yeah.
That's the
And
one
I was
thing.
talking to a gentleman today, marketing company, New Jersey, New York, and he's, very, very nice guy. He's very interested because he says this. So my competitor, what people want to see is that your competition. That's all dealers care about. Years ago, like you used to go to a dealership as a radio person, as a marketer, they always told you, hey, what is this guy doing? What is that other guy doing? What is this guy doing? Everybody wants to know what your competitor is doing. Every business person, whether you talk to a caterer, whether you talk to an automotive person, whoever, they always want to know what the competitor is doing, right?
Oh.
Well, now it's all transparent. Now we know what your competitors is doing. We know what the industry as a whole is doing. We know what everybody's doing.
Right.
We know what the groups are doing. We know what the non-groups are doing. We know what the standalones are doing. We know all this information.
Yeah.
Now,
and now you don't have to wait. Now you don't have to wait 90 days for it.
Right. And you as the customer, as a dealership, or as an advertising agencies are really, this product is unbelievable for them, because all advertising agency, like they bought all these products from the R.O. Polk and Company, the cross-sell report, this report, that report. They would just fill themselves up with report. Why? Because you had to arm yourself with two guns, right? To take care of business, because if you don't arm yourself with information, how you gonna? They go to the next guy and to the next guy. Once the dealership sees that you have the strategy, because you built the strategy behind his market conditions,
right?
And now, based on that, you're gonna build that ROI. Right. And there's a lot of things that this VIN retention does. And one of the most important things, within the group, if you have an underperforming store, and dealers, I got to tell you this, that report, by you getting the report from the group, it tells you who is managing that store, right or wrong. And the other thing you should know, dealer, you can go back a year in history. The other thing you should know is you can go back 2 years in history. The other thing you should know is you can go back 3 years in history, 8 years in history.
Wow.
Now watch. You hired a GM. Now you can compare your numbers of your dealership to last year.
Right.
Now you know what's going on with your people. But not only that, you can compare the rest of your group. So now you know if you have a sick store or it's just the market conditions.
Right. Right. Could be market conditions, could be training, could be the marketing isn't targeted correctly.
Well, like I told you, Long Island City group, right? Every store on there has a problem, but there's one specific store, let's pick one, Chevrolet, that has 9% retention.
Right.
Okay. They're all losing it within themselves. But if you look back at the history of last year, right, that store has a 29% retention and is selling less cars now.
Wow.
What does that tell you as a business owner? That you have a problem in that store. That store is sick.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And when you look at your competitive, your competition, you got 3 other stores that are doing about the same. You can run your store and your organization with numbers, and numbers are a big part of it. Yeah. It's like you're not going to the bank and not knowing how much money you got.
Right.
Yeah.
So
these are things that that report does help you get an ROI.
Awesome. Let's take a quick inside look at the report now.
Go ahead.
So here you can see an example of your VIN retention report. Right at the top, you're going to see the total VINs you sold over a period of time. You're going to see the sales that you retained. You're going to see the VINs that ended up going on the market elsewhere. You could see it broken out by month. And it's really going to give you a good picture of how your retention situation is going. As you move on, these are your past VINs sold relisted in the last year. So whether they were on your website or a competitor's website, you're going to get to see. These are the VINs that were sold by your dealership by month. So you can see when your peaks and your valleys. Now you move on and you can see these are the VINs that you lost and what dealerships they went to, which is a huge, huge advantage. Which vehicles went to auctions that were your VINs. You see, this isn't just about knowing how many vehicles you sold. This is for sale by owner. These are your VINs. These are the models that you lost. So now you can see which vehicles, why are we losing so many souls and so many Sportages as compared to other vehicles? And then you have the positive side. These are the ones that you retained. So in the end, you're not just marketing to people in your CRM that may have gone somewhere else already, and now you can see where they've gone and you can target them to get them back.
All right, we are back. So before we let these people go and hopefully enjoy their weekend, maybe in a few hours, anything else to add on the VIN retention report?
Well, that's about it. We need to have more conversations about this so dealers understand, but more important, the marketers understand the value of it, because now you can run all kinds of stuff. Now you just can't run like one store. Now you can run a whole group, and it tells you, it gives you the scenario, and then you can run their competitive, their competitive analysis. You know what I mean? Then you can run, ABC group, CDEF group.
Right.
And now you see, you can run within the same area or without the same area,
Yeah.
And those dealers that go to 20 groups, you can really run all those stores that the 20 groups tell you that are your competitors at NADA. So you want to show up with NADA ready for you to create, for you to have something to say.
Right.
Yeah. You also have, when the OEMs come to town, they knock on your door, to go over the numbers. Now you have real numbers, and it's just a report. Boom, here, run it and get prepared for that OEM, because when the OEM comes to you and they see you prepared, it's a whole different thing. That shows a lot of things to the OEMs, and there's a relationship there. Right. As you're an underperforming store based on what they're telling you, but you're really not.
Right.
Right. And there's a story behind it. Everything has the information. The OEMs come once a month just to check things out and to see this and a little visit. So you want to know what you're doing, or they either do a Zoom nowadays. They do a lot of different things that I hear, but they still come to the store,
Right.
And you at least have that you're over them, you have that, because there's a lot of data companies out there, but not like this, not for the VIN retention report, not for marketing. VinQ is a great organization, has a lot of data and all that, but nothing like this. This tells you what your competitors are doing. And why is that important for an agency? Because of the strategy.
Oh, absolutely.
Are you going to be, you're going to be promoting somebody blind without you knowing, based on what the dealer tells you?
Right.
I know I wouldn't want to run my business based on what the dealer tells me.
Right.
Because the dealer is looking to maximize you,
Right.
and you're looking to maximize the dealer.
Right.
So he could be feeding you something that it could be his perception, not necessarily that he's lying to you. It could be what he perceives
Right.
of how it should be.
Right. Sure.
Like, I got a few people that are in my life, and some of them perceive something. They talk to me about marketing, and they're perceiving something that's not necessarily true.
Mm-hmm.
Like just the other day, telling me about SEO. Okay, if you're getting more organic traffic and it's staying more on your website, time spent on your website, that organic traffic, right? And you're spending 10 grand, 8 grand on PPC and social media. What's not working is your paid search ads.
Right.
That's what's really not working, because how can organic get more traffic than your PPC? How's that possible? Can anybody explain that to me here?
I certainly
wish
can.
there would be somebody here that could tell me how is that possible.
Right.
And then the guy is like, my SEO. What SEO? Your SEO is the only value that you've had.
Right.
Well, the conversion wasn't there. Well, then that's your problem. You know what? That's your problem, Mr. Jones, because when SEO stays longer on your website, time spent is longer than all the other media platforms that are coming in with traffic, then you have a problem. Maybe they don't like you, or maybe they don't like your company, or maybe they don't like your website.
Right.
So, I mean, that's a problem. If you don't have conversion on that, you're definitely not going to have any conversion on your paid search.
Right.
Less time spent.
Yeah.
And we know that he had 100 customers on his paid search. So it's like, and that's what all businesses people do. Because they don't want to pay you, they want to tell you no.
Right.
No matter what. I have all the data and I have all the information. People just don't want to pay you.
Yeah.
That's all that is. That's the only thing that is, and just people don't really understand the process or something, but they think they do because they only have one side of the story. And I gave that to a lot of digital marketing companies. I sent that Google Analytics out there. It just came back like he just doesn't want to pay. That's all that is.
Right.
And it's a customer, and of course they all want to say that, You got more traffic on SEO, you got less traffic on PPC with a high budget of 10 grand or 8 grand. What's not really working is your PPC. Go call Google or go call whoever the company that's doing the marketing and do something. You know what I mean? Because when people stay longer on a website on SEO, that tells you, because you buy traffic, fake traffic, they don't stay there long. And then when you see the exit, also when you see the exit of the website, how they come in and where they leave.
Right.
And that's where the product is. And you're telling me you had no conversion? Okay. Then why do they come in through the homepage or through the info page and they leave through where the product is? They exit through where the form is. And you're telling me that there's everything today is monitored, I mean, you can try to be sharp, but like you got to be careful with so much data out there. And if somebody knows what they're talking about with data, it doesn't work. And that's the same thing with the VIN retention report,
Yeah. Digital agencies should definitely get their hands on it. And that's at shopsmartautosfordealers.com. That's the number 4 in the middle there. Shopsmartautos, the number 4 dealers.com. And want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. I believe Hanukkah starts on Christmas Day this year. So happy Hanukkah. And any other holiday you might be celebrating out there. And if for any reason we're not back on the air next week, if we're off for a week, a happy New Year as well, and hopefully it'll be a prosperous one for everyone.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be good if are we doing Game Face Monday?
We'll see. We'll see. Once we jump off this live here, we can see what we got. But thanks for sitting by my side again today, Richie.
Thank you. And guys, if you want a full demo in detail on the report, just make sure you guys know how to get me, right? Pretty easy out there. So just get me on one of the social media platforms, LinkedIn or whatever. And I'll be more than happy to give you guys a demo, how we arrived at this, how we came up with it, and all the stuff. So we're open for any questions that anybody has, privately or whatever. We're open to help anybody out and really understand our product line.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Richie. Have a great rest of your day.
Take care. Bye-bye.